We were just...
Would you rather have like a big announcement? Hello! Please welcome to the table, Trina Nishimura.
No, just that's alright. That's alright. We were just sharing about...
What were you sharing?
Oh, sorry.
It's cool.
Sorry. Big birthday celebration for us tsunamis. Just
Oh yeah, I saw the cake.
I know.
Everybody
that
had
was so
cake. That's
nice.
cool. I like it. Hello everyone, my name is Trina Nishimura. Welcome to the Trina Nishimura Q&A. You guys have the Q's, I have the A.
Hey!
Where's your jukebox at?
Huh?
Where's your jukebox? Hit it. Hey.
Oh.
Happy days, come on.
A. Henry Winkler, right? Isn't
Yes.
that
Yes.
He's
That's
so
a funny
old now.
story about Henry Winkler. Anyway, so who has questions? If you don't know who I am, then you're probably in the wrong place. I am a voice actor. I have done many, many voices, like over 200 at this point. Most people, when they hear voices in their head, get put in a padded room. I just got put in a padded room with a microphone. So yeah, some titles you may recognize. My Hero Academia is a big deal right now. I play Jiro. Oh, thank you. That was nice. I like the woos. You know.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Woo. Let's see. Mikasa Ackerman in Attack on Titan. That's also me. Ranmao from Black Butler. Chicken Nugget or Minami from Yuri on Ice.
Yeah.
Oh goodness! Oh, you're wearing the shirt. I like
Yes.
it.
I am.
I'm trying to think of all of the ones that are on my
Heaven's Lost Farm.
Heaven's Lost. I'm in Negima and
Ghost Girl from Sergeant Frog?
also Ghost Girl from Sergeant Frog. Yeah, so I've done some stuff.
We don't know what's on it.
Yeah. If you'd like a full list, feel free to Google me. Buy me a drink first, but then you can Google me. Consent, it's important. Not a joke. Are there any questions in the room? Yes, sir.
Are you glad they gave your character, well, with the support items she has now, she kind of almost has a couple more extra abilities now, instead of just listening to the wall?
Oh, you're talking about your, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, My Hero, my bad.
Yeah.
What do you think about her new support gear and everything like that?
I think she's super fly. I think all of her quirk is really cool. I think that I think the writers on the show are really smart about how they change characters and evolve characters, and I love her style. Like if I was going to cosplay as anybody, I would cosplay as her. She's super cute. I love her a lot. Do you guys ever get worried, like when you're in a panel or something and you hear some weird noise outside and you're like, is everyone dying? Like,
Yeah.
Is something happening? Like it's officially the zombie apocalypse. And
Yeah.
they're all running and like, ah, and we're like, oh yeah, we're just Q&Aing, no big deal. Like we should be running, but that's just me. I'm a little paranoid about zombie apocalypse. Yes.
Is there ever any lines that you're like, ooh, this is very uncomfortable? I know a lot of voice actors vary from their like moral to moral and what things what. But when you're having perverted lines or maybe very much curse words, like very strong curse words, does that ever make you feel uncomfortable?
I've played some characters that have made me feel uncomfortable in the past, but they weren't because of sexuality. I think that in general, sex and sexuality is something that is ever evolving within within society and within people's minds and things like that. I will say that the things that would make me uncomfortable about sexual lines would be if it was rapey or if it was a minor situation, in which case I would just decline the role, because both of those I don't want to contribute to in any way. But if it's like a boy that's like looking at my bits or my character's bits or me looking at another character's bits, like that happens in real life. So as long as it's not like creepy or rapey, then yeah, that's fine. That's whatever. The characters or the lines that have made me uncomfortable in the past or challenged have to do usually with things that are ugly in society in general. I have played in the past a girl who was kidnapped from her parents when she was a child after they were murdered, and she was sold into slavery. She was trafficked sexually, and That was a really hard, uncomfortable character to play for obvious reasons, but I feel like it's really important that as an artist, it's my job to tell stories, and unfortunately that is a real story in today's world and in today's society, and as ugly as it is and as hard as it is to talk about or put myself into that position, I feel like it's really important. So I guess that's the most uncomfortable I've ever been. It was a show called Speedgrapher. Great show. It's a great show. I was a kidnapped and trafficked and drug-riddled woman.
Yeah.
Not great. Not great.
No.
Uncomfortable.
No.
Y'all want to hear a poop joke? Hi, you got a question?
Change the subject. We all happy. Yeah.
The role that you were most excited about receiving?
The role that I was most in general or just your voice acting?
Your general voice acting. Like, which role were you most excited to be like, oh my god, I got this role?
Yeah. I was really excited to be cast as Mikasa. That was a huge, thank you. That was a huge deal. Everybody was talking about Attack on Titan before it happened. Yeah, and everyone's really excited about it. And like, it's one of those like, I'm a professional, so I don't want to freak out and be like a fangirl or whatever because I'm grown up. So I was actually, it was this crazy day. I had just, like I had this other job that I was doing at the time, and I was like, you know what, this isn't for me. Like, I'm just going to quit my job and I'm going to hope that everything works out. And so, you know, when you're like in the middle of quitting a job and you're like, yeah, that's right, Jonathan, you can take this job and give it to somebody else that's going to bend over backwards because I'm done. You know, walk out and be like, yeah, I'm so awesome. Yeah, that was a good idea. Yeah, this is going to be okay. Yeah, I'm going to pay my bills. This is fine. You know, like you have that momentum and then you're just like, so I was actually driving that day from quitting my job, and I was like, this is fine. I'm going to be fine. There's no problem. This is fine. And then Mike McFarlane, the amazing director of Attack on Titan,
Woo!
Yeah, he's awesome.
He is.
He called me, and because I was driving and reception was like kind of wonky, and we're also friends, so I was like, hey man, what's going on? He's like, nothing. What's going on with you? I was like, nothing, just having the best day of my life. And he was like, that's awesome. Jeremy, Mikasa Titan. And I was like, what? And he was like, Jeremy, Mikasa Titan. I was like, I'm sorry, the phone's breaking up. That's great. Congratulations to Jeremy for getting Mikasa. That's amazing. And he's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, why did you call me to tell me that Jeremy got Mikasa? He's like, you got Mikasa. It's a bad connection. What's wrong with you? And I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool or whatever, man. That's awesome. Cool. Cool. All right. Yeah, I'll talk to you later. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. No big deal. And then I got off the phone. I was like, oh my God, I got Mikasa. This is the best day of my life. I like called my brother immediately. I was like, ah, and he's like, slow down. So yeah, that was probably the most exciting because it was like when the universe like lines up and it's like, oh, did the right thing, Jonathan. That's not his real name, but yeah, we'll just say Jonathan. Yes.
Okay. Let's see. How are you enjoying Corpus Christi?
I love Corpus Christi.
Thank you.
I actually spent a summer here, or a few months of the summer here in Aransas Pass after I graduated from college. I love Corpus Christi. I mean, I love Texas. I'm a Texan myself.
Oh.
I drink Dr. Pepper.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I drink Dr. Pepper. I vote for Beto. What else? What else is uniquely Texan? I drink Dr. Pepper. I eat Whataburger. I like Scheiderbach.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else? I don't use vinegar-based barbecue sauce. I think that's garbage. I don't put beans in my chili. Yeah, so yay, Texas.
Yay!
I had lunch at Prince's Cafe, just about 2 miles from here, and it was delicious.
Thank you.
I really love the city, and everybody's been so nice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for
That's
sure.
all.
Are you from Corpus?
Yes, I am.
You like the welcome? You're the welcome committee.
Kind of welcome committee. I did it for Bryce and for everybody. So
That's
I'm being
awesome.
nice.
Me
Yeah.
too.
No, thank you.
This is my first time coming to this thing.
Oh, cool. Well, welcome to RealmsCon.
Thank you.
It's my first time too.
Oh,
We're
good.
virgins.
Welcome.
That's for the very first. Yes. Did you have a question, sweetheart?
Oh,
no? Okay. Yes.
you auditioned for the role in My Hero Academia, did you audition for Jiro or someone else?
When I auditioned for the role of in My Hero Academia, it's funny. I was actually, when the auditions happened for My Hero, I was in Australia with Bryce, actually. Well, not just like, it's not like we were just vacationing in Australia, I should clarify. We were there for work, and his beautiful wife was there, and his new baby was there. It was really fun. She's adorable.
Yeah, he's fun too.
Yeah. So.
Why for the baby?
Huh?
Why for the baby?
Both are adorable. Like when you meet somebody like Bryce. Like,
yes.
Let me just sidetrack. I'll come back. But when you meet somebody like Bryce, and then you meet his wife, and then you meet their perfect baby, you're like, oh, I've done so many things wrong in my life. Because they're so happy and they're perfect. They're like this perfect little hobbit couple. And I just love them. So it's cool. I'm little too. We have a running gag about it. Like, we're both little. And Josh is kind of little too. Like, when we first we did a commentary. It was one of the first times I ever met Bryce, and we were all standing next to each other, and I like looked to my left, and it was Josh, and I looked to my right, and it was Bryce. I was like, guys, who's guarding the Shire? Like,
I know, I was
tiny people. Yeah, so they're perfect. They're just the cutest family. They're amazing, and some of my closest friends now. Ella calls me Auntie Trina, or Auntie Trina. I give her presents, and she thinks they're treasure. But I forgot her birthday present. It's not my fault. It's totally my fault. So when we were in Australia, the auditions came up for My Hero Academia, and I actually auditioned for several people. I auditioned for Deku, for sure. I was not cast. I auditioned for Monica's character, and for Brina's character, and for Jiro. I actually auditioned for like 5 people, and then the director sent me Jiro again, and she was like, Trina, read for this. And I was like, I don't know. And I was talking to my best friend Brina, who is also in Australia with us, because she's a voice actor. So I was talking to Brina, and I was like, I don't know, I feel like Jiro isn't really my jam. And she was like, Trina, what are you wearing? And I was like, what I always wear. She was like, what is that? I was like, jeans, a t-shirt, a jacket, and leather boots. And she's like, what is the girl in the picture wearing? I was like, jeans and t-shirt, yeah. And she was like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how punk rock are you? I was like, 10! And she was like, now will you please look at the sides on that character? What does it say? I was like, she's a 10 on the punk rock factor. And she was like, so you want to read for the character? I was like, yeah, that's probably smart. So that's how that happened. Yeah. Yes. Other questions? Yes.
Have you ever like denied or maybe didn't get a role that really blew up big and you regretted either like denying it or just not getting it?
No. If I get cast as something, I usually take it because I like to pay my bills. In general. In general. Yes.
Are there any lines that kind of stick with you, like a song stuck in your head, and can you say them?
Oh, sure. Let's see. There is who's seen Evangelion? Anybody?
Ooh, I've seen a little bit.
Awesome. So the character that I play, Mari, she's kind of psychotic. It's awesome. I love her. And she has a song that she sings, and it's she's like getting ready in her mech to go and kill these giant angels that are awful. They're like awful demon creatures. And she's in her mech, and she's about to go out and like kill these giant things, and like whatever happens to her mech happens to her. At one point, she like rips her own arm off, and like she's insane. But she's like singing this happy song as she's going to maybe die, which is kind of crazy. But I like that song a lot, and I sing that one in my head a lot. And it's it's time to face the day, time to make it snappy. But you know, first you gotta make it out of bed. Hello, Mr. Sunshine, today you're gonna be mine. Making Pinky swear there's only sunny skies ahead. Take on the day with the 1-2 punch. That's it. Yeah, so that's it. Thank you. There's a show called Pop Team Epic.
Ooh, yes, I love that show. Oh, I'm
Me
sorry.
too. No, you're fine. It's a good show. So I was in Pop Team Epic, And I recorded some songs on that one. Unfortunately, they're not appropriate to sing in this setting.
Yes,
but
it
you
is
should
not.
definitely
It is
look.
not.
You should look it up. It's a funny show.
Adults Live on Demand too.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And I got to play. Brina was actually my partner in that show, so that was fun. Yeah.
You were a pub corp people meeting.
The blonde one.
You were a pub corp.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. After like 100, you start forgetting all of their
I know
names.
that and they just had different random.
Yeah,
names,
yeah.
Which is a first, I think. Really.
Yeah, I had, yeah, Brina was taller, I was shorter, she was like, ha ha ha.
Yes.
But she's taller than me, which I didn't realize for years, but she is. So, other questions? Nope? Alright, that concludes, no, sorry. Did you guys have any other questions, or do you want me to just talk? Yes?
Since you do voice acting, a lot of other voice actors branch out to other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever branch out into actual acting, music, or art?
Actual acting.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
Yeah.
actual
I was
acting.
only one camera shot.
No, it's fine. So I've been an actor my whole life, in some capacity or another. So I started acting when I was 9 years old at my local community theater, and then I started touring professionally with a company, a theater company, at 13. Why my mom was like, sure, 13-year-old daughter, you could go out on your own, you'll be fine. I don't know, but I'm glad she did, because that was where my first foray, I guess, into actual acting. I did that, and then I did some speech and theater in high school, and then I got to college, and I was studying to be a lawyer. I was going to go into law school. My plan was maritime, and so I was in college, and I was broke, because that's your job in college, to be broke. I was really good at it.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who I grew up with, he was like, hey, there's this audition at this place that I work at called Funimation. You should go in and audition. I was like, no, Jimmy, I'm going to be a lawyer. I'm grown up. I'm going to have a 401k and a mortgage and all this stuff. And right now, I'm just paying my dues. He was like, it pays. I was like, when is it? And so I went in and I auditioned, and here I am. I still do other things, other acting and things like that. I don't do as much theater as I'd like to, just because of time constraints. But I do other stuff. It's just, nobody's going to be like, oh my God, you're the Nationwide girl. Like, yeah, you were that cheerleader. Will you sign my insurance card? Nobody cares about that. I mean, I can. Nationwide, it's on your site. God, that was so stressful. It was the most, that was a really stressful day. They had us do this, it was like me and 4 other people, and we were all cheerleaders for Nationwide, and I have a whole new respect for cheerleaders. That stuff is hard and stressful, like doing this all the time. We're so happy. That's too much. It's too much. It's too much. It's not punk rock, yeah. Like when I was a kid, I didn't go to football games. I was the kid that was like, yeah, let's go to the pep rally. And by pep rally, I mean I'm going to walk with you guys till I get to my car. I'm going to sneak out, and I'm going to go get a Dr. Pepper, and I'll meet you back here in 30 minutes. Woo, go team! Sports! I was very challenged in high school. It was challenging to my mother, but no, I wasn't challenged. So, yeah, sports. I don't know how I got there. Anyways, yes, ma'am.
Is there anything, any show that you used to watch as a kid that if they did a reboot or a remake, you would be like, oh, I'm so totally going to get a role in that?
I would like to say all of them. But if I, like Dreamworld, if there was a reboot of like, if there was a reboot of Lady and the Tramp, I'd want to be the cats, the Siamese cats.
Oh, yes.
That was the very first time I ever actually realized that there was a voice behind the cartoons, that it was a person. When I was a kid, there was like this behind-the-scenes thing on Disney Channel or something, and it was this woman who was like singing, the voice actress who was singing the song, and she put on these like fingernail extension things to sing, and she was like, "Here's I am." I would just want to do that. I think that would be amazing, just to like relive that moment and be her just for a minute. Or let's see what else. Anything Disney. I loved Disney when I was a kid. It was like my super big time jam. anything as far as voice acting goes. As far as live action goes, I would love to. I would love to be in Breakfast at Tiffany's. I love that movie. I've loved that movie since I was a child, and the book since I was in high school. I wouldn't want the prostitute part, but like everything else. Let's see, what else? Yeah, so those are the things that I'd like to do. That would be amazing. Super amazing. Yes?
Have you ever thought of, like, have you ever dreamed about ever having a role in a Hayao Miyazaki film?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, that would be amazing. Oh, no, wait, I was in one of those.
you
Yeah,
were?
I'm sorry. I was like, oh, no. Yeah, I was in one called Origin. It's, yeah, I was girl A.
Oh, wait. Origin Spirits of the Past?
Yes.
I don't think that's not a Miyazaki film.
It's not?
No, it is not.
Is it a studio?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm very sure. It's
Are you positive?
Yes,
I'm just going to go ahead and pretend like it is, so.
Okay.
That's just-
It does have the qualities,
So-
but it's not set.
I know that it was at Sundance,
Yes,
so
it
I'm
was.
just gonna go ahead and believe I am. But no, yes, that would be amazing. I would love to be in anything of that, in that world or in that realm. I think that there.
Sorry for that.
No, it's fine. You just crushed my dreams.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I would love to. Yes, is the short. I guess I was not. Is the long. But I'm gonna go ahead and erase that from my memory in about 30 minutes. Other questions? Yes.
Any weird fan stories?
Any weird fan stories? Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to hear them?
Yes.
What is that about? What is that about? Like, why do people want to hear weird fan stories?
Because I don't know if actually I don't think male voice actors suffer from the same problem.
They don't.
Every time I ask them, it's never.
They don't.
They're like, yeah, no, not really. It's fine.
Because every female voice actor I talk to on a personal level, they're always like, yeah, people get weird because they think that they see you all the time on social media and whatever. They think, oh, there's a connection. They don't realize the voice actor doesn't know you, so some things come off weird.
Yeah, I've had okay, so weirdest. I had a stalker situation for a bit. That sucked.
Okay, maybe not that far.
Yeah, that sucked. That was real awkward because you don't know exactly who it is, and the police take far too long to get out to my house, but because we're in Texas, I do own a gun. But at the same time, you're like, I don't want to shoot anybody, please don't break into my house. I don't want to shoot anybody, please don't break into my house. So yeah, that was awkward. I'll tell you a funny one though. That's far more fun than me cowering in my closet like, I don't want to die or kill you. My landlord actually gave me the gun. She was like, listen, you live on your own, like you're gonna need protection. I've lived in the same place forever. I moved there right after college, and she's like now my second mom. She's like, you need protection. I was like, Kim, I'm fine, I don't need. She's like, you need something to protect yourself. What happens if someone breaks into the house? I was like, I'll probably miss anyways, or not know what to do. She's like, we're gonna get you something. Marshall, get Louise. And so, so her husband Marshall brought me Louise, which is a sawed-off shotgun. And she's like, honey, you don't even need to fire this. You don't need to fire this at all. All you need to do is cock it. And I was like, what? And she was like, when somebody hears, they're gonna leave the house. And I was like, all right. So I'm like holding this sawed-off shotgun, knowing full well that if I do fire it, I'm falling down. I'm not gonna be the one standing at the end of that. Anyways, so there was that. So another weird fan stories.
Yes.
There was, okay, so one of my very first conventions ever was in Philadelphia. It was actually just outside of Philadelphia in a city called King of Prussia. King of Prussia. And so they're very well known for a mall. So I was there with Johnny and Bosch, who also, and his band I Shine. I'm sure you guys have heard of both. And so we were there, and this is back in the day when computers were like a box. There was one computer, and they were trying to check people in on this single computer, and they expected about, I think 100 or 1,000 people, and 10,000 showed up.
Oh wow.
And it was in this hotel, but a tiny hotel in the basement. And there were only 4 or 5 rooms. and it was freezing outside. It was snowing and awful and icy and rainy and sleety and awful. And so these kids and their parents like lined up outside of the hotel starting at like 5 in the morning. And opening ceremonies was at 11:30, and so it's 11:30. There are still people outside because the one computer box went down, and they can't get anybody badges, and they can't. And so you know what it's like to wait in lines and be like, the line isn't moving. Why isn't the line moving? And now imagine you're like out there freezing, and the line isn't moving, and you've been there for 4 or 5 hours, and so we're in opening ceremonies, and nobody's there. And I was like, this is weird. Johnny was like, this is weird. So the promoter came over with some clipboards and some Sharpies, and he was like, or she was like, hey, can you guys go outside and like sign some autographs to keep everyone like calm? And I was like, I don't know. I don't think anybody's gonna know who I am. Like, this is only my second convention, and and Johnny was like, Trina, let's roll. And I was like, I just feel like it's gonna be really cold. He was like, Trina, and I was like, you're right, you're right, you're right. So we went outside. We're bundled up, and they wanted to send us with security, and Johnny was like, no, it's fine. I was like, I'm fine. I'm with Johnny and Aisha, and I'll be fine. And so, like, I also think I'm much bigger than I am. So Johnny, like, went over, and they were signing, and we're signing, and everything's fine. And SWAT had been called because, like, it had gotten so out of control, like, the crowd was crazy. And so, like, Johnny's over there. I'm like, go ahead, Johnny. I'll be over here. I'm okay. I'm okay. And so I'm, like, signing, and I'm happy, and everything's okay. And I'm signing, and I'm happy, and everything's okay. And then, like, you know when you're in a giant crowd, and it just kind of starts to move? And then, like, before I know it, like, there's no Johnny, like, and there's no Einstein, and there's nobody I know. And then, like, I have this clipboard, and like a sea of really angry people. And like, fans are great. I love fans. I'm very, very fortunate. It's amazing to be blessed and to be able to do what I do. But you know who really doesn't like standing in the cold for hours on end?
People.
Moms.
Yeah.
Moms don't like it. And somehow they were like, knew that I was there, and they like sensed my presence, and they were like, there's a clipboard over there, and they like all swarmed at me, and there's like 5 moms all standing in this circle around me, and they're screaming at me, and they're like, my baby is freezing out here, this is awful, we've been here since 5 in the morning, I don't have an ID for my baby, she's only 10, will a library card work? And they're just screaming, and I'm like, I'm kind of a sensitive person, so I start to cry a little bit, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, I'm so sorry, just come with me, it'll be fine, I'll get you inside, bring your babies, it's okay, and in the meantime, now it's getting like really shovey, like somehow like the moms are gone now, and like all these people are like screaming at me because they think I'm in charge, and I have this clipboard, and that, I'm like, I just wanted to sign the autograph, and like they're pushing and pulling, and it's getting insane. And like for a con, it's crazy. It's like this weird mosh pit of hate. And so like, because everyone's so cold. And so like I bumped into this wall of a human being, like this giant dude. And I like turn around and I look at him, and he's in full SWAT regalia, right? Like the mask and the thing and like the jacket and the vest thing. And I just grab onto his vest. I'm like, I'm Trina, and I really want to go inside. I'm really scared right now. And he's like, he takes off his mask, and he's like, Trina, can I have an autograph? And I was like, oh my God! Yes! That's fine! You can have whatever you want.
That was...
Yeah. That wasn't traumatic for me at all. So that was a funny fan experience. He was cosplaying in SWAT. He wasn't actually SWAT. Yeah.
Sorry.
It was real awkward. Other awkward moments. I was at a convention once where there was a biochemical attack.
Wow.
That was really scary. They cleared the entire convention. That time SWAT came in as well, and the police and all this other stuff. And
But was it a false alarm or not?
well, they took 2 people to the hospital and said that it was just a chemical spill. So I don't know. Chemical spill.
It could be bleach.
It could be bleach. Who knows? Who knows?
Well, that's what it's as far as that's
Yeah.
a large cleaning solution.
Yeah, one of my I was to death. I'm fine with that. Like my agent called and he was like, "Where are you?" I was like, "I'm definitely at the convention where I'm supposed to be. Or getting a cheeseburger." He was like, "Stay there." And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, "Oh, everything's been evacuated." I was like, "What?" And so I called Bryce. I was like, "Bryce, because what do you do? Right? Like, what do you do with..."
Call Cat Noir.
Right? I called Bryce. I was like, "Bryce, what are you and the baby doing?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, we're just hanging out. Ella's just being crazy, trying to take off her diaper. What's up?" And I was like, "Get the baby dressed. We gotta get out of here. There's a chemical attack." He was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I don't know, but I feel like we shouldn't be this close to the convention. We should go somewhere. I don't know where, but we should go. I'll call an Uber." he was like, "Oh, okay." So we didn't go. They ended up squashing it, but yeah, so that was weird. Other fan experiences. Ooh, do you want to hear a celebrity experience?
Ooh, yes.
I have a lot of those. So, do you guys know who LeVar Burton is? Reading Rainbow.
Yes.
Birdie? Yeah. I was in Canada. I want to say Toronto. And we were there, and it was me and a bunch of other voice actors, and LeVar came into the green room. The green room is where like actors would go to like eat lunch or hang out or like decompress for a minute or poop. You'd be surprised how many people want your autograph when you're pooping. Yeah, it's weird. It's like, "I'll be right out." So I was in the green room, and a bunch of voice actors were like, "Oh my gosh, that's it, that's it. Oh my gosh, that's it, that's it. Somebody go talk to him. I was gonna talk to him. Oh my god, that's it, that's it." And I like looked at him, I was like, "Oh my god, he's wearing vintage Jean-Paul Gaultier sunglasses. Are you guys seeing this?" And he was like I said it like really loud, and he like turned, I was like, "Are those from the 70s? He was like, "Yes." I was like, "Are those Jean-Paul Gaultier?" He was like, "Yes." I was like, "Can I take a picture with them?" And he was like, "You want to take a picture with me?" I was like, "No, with your sunglasses." Obviously, why do I want to take a picture? "Oh right, you're famous. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry." No. Yeah, I mean, I just wanted, but if you'd rather, that's fine too. And he was like, "No, it's fine." I was like, "Oh my god!" And I like held them and like caressed them and spoke to them. His sunglasses, not his. All the other voice actors were like, "Are you not going to get a picture with him?" I was like, "I already got a picture with the sunglasses, by the way." And so he found out who we were, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, my daughter's a huge fan of you, blah, blah, blah." So I signed some stuff for him, and like we started talking about sunglasses and everything. And he was like, "What sunglasses do you have?" And I was like, "Yeah, when I travel, like I try not to bring anything expensive because I lose everything or something happens to them. So I have these really cool Ray-Bans that I really love with me right now. They're these vintage 60s Ray-Bans, and I love them, but I've had them forever." And he was like, "Oh, that's great." So at the end of the convention, we're all trying to rush to the airport, and I'm changing, like, there was one bathroom in the green room, and clearly somebody had to poo, because like right before I went in to change, like it smelled awful in there. It smelled like a college dorm room. Like it was so bad. It was like a college dorm room after like rush or something. It was like everything just came out from every orifice in this person's body. And I went in and I was like trying to change, but ladies, when you're trying to change, but you're also trying not to touch the bathroom floor. Like it's lava, but like bacteria-laden lava. So I'm like trying to change, and like I also had to pee, so I'm trying to change and pee, and I'm trying to do it all really quickly because the car is waiting and everyone's freaking out, and like there's a line and people are like knocking and they're like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "Oh, I'll be right out, it's fine." And so like I'm trying to change and get everything done, and then like I turn around and I like lean in to flush the toilet, and my sunglasses are on my head, and they fell into the toilet. And I was like, "Oh no," and like they just went, and I was like, "All right. Well, that's that." And so like they disappeared, and I guess like I left, and I guess after I left they like plooped back out. Not that I would have taken them anyways, they were fine where they were forever. So like, because of the smell. So I like came out of the bathroom like with my bag and this LeVar, and he was like, "Oh hey, are you leaving?" I was like, "Yeah, listen, just a heads up, that was not me. That smell in there, not me. I would own up to it." And he was like, "All right." And like I went back into the green room and I'm like packing my other bag into the bag. And and then he came into the green room and he's like, "Hey Trina, I think I just peed on your sunglasses." I was like, "Yeah, man, yeah, you did." So, and then I left. And I've seen him since at different conventions, but I don't have the nerve to like be like, "Hey, remember me? I was obsessed with your sunglasses, and then you pissed on mine." Are we friends? He's such a nice man. He was so nice. I have other weird celebrity stories, but unless somebody has another question, or I can just keep telling. Yes.
Was there any role that you were surprised that you got it, or pleasantly surprised?
I'm surprised every time I'm cast. She asked if there was any role that I was surprised that I got, and it's every single time. I'm a very. I think it comes from being. I was raised by a single mom because sometimes that's how it works. I was raised by a single mom, but I had 2 older siblings and 1 younger sibling. So like I was picked on by the 2 older ones like my whole life because that's how it rolls. And somebody has something to say back there. But I guess it just gave me like this super thick skin. So like rejection acting wise, it's like that is not as bad as being tortured by my big sister and brother. Yeah, so I'm always like, "Oh, you like me? All right, that's pretty good." So yeah, all of them, I guess. Other questions? In the back, are you scratching your head? Okay. She was just scratching her head. I'm like, "Do you want to?" Yeah.
Okay, something I've been learning is that it's a pretty intense grind to be a voice actor.
Yeah.
How much time are you able to actually spend at home instead of like traveling, doing auditions and stuff like that?
I mean, I spend, I guess, it's like any other job. Like there are busy weeks and there are not so busy weeks. I recently, this year in particular, I've been really conscious about the time that I spend away from home because I mean, like I love traveling and I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed. I'm not complaining at all. But sometimes you just want to be in your own bed and you want to be with your people in your tribe. And so yeah, it just depends. When the work is there, you work it, and if the work isn't there, then you figure out some other way to get your creative crazy out, because otherwise it will drive you crazy.
Bless you.
Bless you. Bless you.
Bless you.
Other questions? Or do you want to hear more stories about weird stuff?
More
More stories. Okay. Let's see. I could tell you about Richard Dreyfuss.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody know who Richard Dreyfuss is?
I've heard the name.
Have you? The lady in the back that scratched your head. That's a deliberate wave. All right. Richard Dreyfuss was in Jaws. He's in Mr. Holland's Opus. He's an amazing actor. But his wife. So I was in Australia, and it sounds like I go there all the time. I don't, but I was in Australia with Trina, and there was this woman, and she walks into the green room, and she looks like a vision of awesome. Like she's gorgeous, and she has like very blonde hair, and she has like beautiful, like full, like perfect makeup and lips, and like bright red, and like all this jewelry and all this stuff, and she like sits down and she's like, "Oh, that was so much, that was so hard." And I was like, "Who is that?" And like Rena was like, "I don't know." It's like, "We're gonna be her friend." So we went over and we started talking to her, and she's like, my husband is here for work, I am just here." And we were like, "Oh my God, what do you do?" She's like, "I don't do anything anymore. I used to work a lot, but I don't work anymore." And we were like, "Oh, that's amazing." She's like, "Everybody thinks that everyone is so important. They want their autograph. Nobody asks me for my autograph. They should ask me." I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "I speak 8 languages. I've been shot in the back twice." And we were like, "So you're married to Richard Dreyfuss and you've been shot in the back?" And she was like, "Twice." So her name is Stella. She's the most amazing woman I've ever met in my life. I'm completely in love with her. We toured, we were in Sydney and Perth, and we were in Australia for 2 weeks. She called me Tiffany the entire time, and I didn't correct her. Let me just tell you a little bit about Stella. I'm pretty sure she was a spy. I'm serious. She was born in the Soviet Union. Her father gave her her first gun at the age of 8. She speaks 8 languages. She's been shot in the back twice. She moved to America, somehow got like citizenship but didn't touch on it. And was like, I moved to America, I become supermodel. I was like, you moved to America and you became supermodel. Keep up. And then I get married to this billionaire, we have a baby, he is awful, he's no longer here. I was like, We do not talk about him. But we do not talk about him, Tiffany. And I was like, okay, yeah, we don't talk about him. We don't talk about him. That's fine. And I was like, so you were shot in the back twice? Where were you? And she was like, Afghanistan. We do not talk about that. All right, cool. That's cool. And then she like adopted me somehow, and on the way back, I mean, it's Richard Dreyfuss. So like, he goes wherever he wants to go in the airport, and it's fine. And he like, we were checking in, and she was like, Little Bear. She called me Little Bear. Little Bear, you come with us. We will meet you in the lounge. I was like, oh. Stella, I'm not that important. And she was like, you come with us. Why is she not in the lounge with us? And she's like screaming at Richard's agent, Ricky, Little Bear not coming. And I was like, and he was like, you do whatever you need to do. I have the tickets and passports. I'll meet you in the lounge. And he goes up and she's like, we have to save Little Bear. Little Bear, you will come with us. And I was like, I will come with you. That's fine. It was amazing. It was like the best travel experience of my life. People just, they opened a security line for us. I was like, I am Richard Dreyfuss's assistant. No problem. Yes, sir. Absolutely. And then we got on the plane, and she's like, Little Bear, you sit there. I was like, I don't think that's how it works. Still, I can't just sit there. She was like, you'll see. You will sit there. And I was like, I don't think you could just up, but by God, I sat there. She's amazing. She's the nicest woman. She was so cool. So that's the Richard Dreyfuss story. What other funny celebrity stories do I have that are G-rated? Yes, you have a question.
Yeah, okay,
You're not going to put this on the interwebs, are you?
no.
Good.
Yeah, no. But, anyway, what was the funniest character to voice?
The funniest character to voice?
Yeah, out of all your roles, what was the most funniest to do?
I think the most amusing would probably have to be... I don't know. Naviru from Monster Hunter. He was, he's an Airu, a feline, a cat, and, excuse me, but he's really, really sweet, and he's funny, and I'm with Chris George is the director, and he's amazing, but he and I helped kind of found Naviru's voice because we both love Bob's Burgers so much. So Naviru is a combination between Gene and Louise Belcher. He sounds like this all the time, and he's really funny, and he's really fun, and he's excited about everything that's happening. Like I love him. I can only do his voice for about 2 hours, but yeah, he's fun.
2 hours.
Yeah, and then I have to like kind of take a break because it shreds my vocal cords. Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever been scared about doing a voice and scared of damaging your vocal cords?
Yes. So I have damaged my vocal cords in the past. It's a really hard thing to do or deal with. It involves a lot of vocal rest and things like that. I have a wonderful ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he's great. But I did develop some issues last year, and I had to go on vocal rest a lot more than I normally do. It was probably like twice a week that I couldn't speak, so like 48 hours out of the week. And that was really hard. It was great for my boyfriend, because he'd be like, what do you want to watch tonight? I'm like, he's like, I already said it! Like, he was awful. He's great, but yeah.
So you really kind of talk for like 2 whole days?
Yeah. It's really it's much harder than one would assume. It's really hard to do.
I like talking.
I know, right? Because you can physically talk, but you know you're supposed to be resting your voice. So it's a bit challenging, for sure.
Your voice go back completely normal. The reason I ask is I know that some years back, I think it was a singer Adele. She actually had to have surgery on her vocal cords.
No.
And when she came back, like
Nose.
it was nose. Like when she come back, she sounded the same. But I don't know if that affects you or not.
I'm sure it affects some. Everything affects your physiologically. I'm sure it affects you certainly, but no, I was pretty fortunate. Nothing really changed. I just had a whole lot of vocal rest, a whole lot of vocal rest, because he was like, if you don't, we're gonna have to have surgery, and I was like, so like that was just the choice, and I chose not to speak, which was challenging, but actually kind of meta, you know, like thinking, trying to be cool and calm. Not easy, but helpful. Mm-hmm.
What was the most challenging voice role to do?
What was the most challenging voice role to do? Physically?
And
Physically, probably Matsu from, or I'm sorry, not Matsu. Well, Matsu too. Matsu kind of sounds like Naviru. Naviru was physically the most challenging because, huh?
Naviru was that?
Naviru. He was the one from Monster Hunter.
Oh.
The mix-up between the Belcher kids.
Ah.
I loved him. Loved him. Other questions in the world? Yes.
So when you're in the booth, do you like channel your character, like
Yeah.
tote around plays?
So he asked if while I'm in the booth, do I channel my character? Yes, I do. So the physicality of voice acting is very important. Personally, like I do a lot of the movements, or as much as I can without interrupting the recording. Because you obviously, like, if you're like running or going crazy, it's gonna sound different if you like pretend to go crazy, like or you know, because it physically affects you. And I do, yeah, so I do a lot of weird stuff in the booth, but I mean, most everybody does, that I know, anyways. It's really funny to actually watch. Funimation has some new behind-the-scenes stuff coming out.
Yeah.
That shows people in the booth, and it's pretty funny.
Dragon Ball one.
Yeah.
Funny.
There's the Dragon Ball one. There's a Black Clover one. There's My Hero. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. You can look those up. FunimationNow.com.
Yay! Funimation.
Yay, Funimation! Yes, ma'am.
So what's your craziest voice acting recording story?
My craziest voice acting recording story is I once got naked in the booth.
What?
Well, I was really hot, and it's Texas, and there was no air conditioning, and we kept being interrupted. We had an oscillating fan, but you have to open the door. It was when we had whisper booths, which are like phone booths. So I had to open the door, turn on the fan, listen to the take, preview the next take, turn off the fan, close the door, and it was just wasting a lot of time. So I was like, I put my hoodie, I like taped it over the window. I was like, guys, don't come in here. And then like as the session progressed, I just like took more and more layers off. And I'm just like in my skivvies, and somebody answered like accident, like all I hear is the director in the back go, no, no, no! And then like the CEO of Funimation was like, hey Trina, I have a question. I'm like, oh my god! What's wrong with you? And he's like, why are you naked? I was like, why are you looking? And he's like, I don't know! I'm like,
The CEO? Oh my god.
I have a weird life. It seems perfectly normal to me, but other
The
questions?
CEO.
Well, he wasn't the CEO then.
Well, the
Or,
founder.
I don't even know what his title is.
Gen
Maybe.
Funai.
No, it's not Gen. Oh my god, if it was
Isn't he?
Gen.
Well, he's the founder.
Yeah, he's the founder. I don't know what his capacity is now, but it wasn't Gen.
Oh, somebody else?
Yeah.
Still with her.
It was somebody really important. I think I just used the term CEO because it sounds important.
Oh.
I don't really know what his job is. I just know that he's very important.
Oh.
Very important.
Very important.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, okay. That was
Yeah.
embarrassing.
It was embarrassing. It's weird to have random strangers see your bits. Unless you're a stripper. I guess that's normal. Right? Or a porn star, or I guess like a nude model. I don't know what else. Yeah, I don't know what else. You know what? Maybe just like an artist. I dated a guy once who would get naked for art.
Oh.
And, like he had these weird meta punk shows where he'd like take off. It's like similar to the Big Lebowski. He would take off all his clothes and he would roll around in paint and then like fling himself at a canvas all while this like metal music is playing. We all make bad choices in college.
Yeah.
Mine was named Shane.
I was gonna say, is that what attracted you to him?
No, he said he was a painter, and I was like, oh my god, that's so fascinating. You know, because you're in college and whatever. He's like, yeah, I dropped out because they didn't understand my art. I'm like, I totally get it. He's like, yeah, I'm basically as anti-mainstream as you can get. I was like, I'm totally in it. He's like, yeah, I do a lot of live performances. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I also live in a loft. It's pretty cool. I was like, oh my god, will you marry me? This is the best. You're kind of weird. You do alternative art and you look like you might have a record. Hi. Hi. Let me taint. Hi. Hi. Hi, my name's Pico. Okay. I'm sorry.
Do you want to take a seat?
Bye.
Well,
Have you tainted?
hello.
No. Bye.
Well, Pico had a good day.
She did.
So yeah.
Hello, Pico.
Hello, Pico. Does anyone else have any other questions? Yes, sir.
Yes, I have a question. In your role as Sahara in Heaven's Lost Property, during the whole quiz game scenario where she had to say Spanish, like, how did you feel playing that, you know, with a character who had struggled with Spanish, but however, in the original Japanese version, she'd be struggling with English, but of course, Funimation, you know, since yeah, it's in English, you know, it wouldn't make sense for her to try and speak English if she already understood it. Because, you know, language barrier, you know.
Yeah.
That means every issue, a problem with English, you know, so yeah, how does that feel with the...
How does that feel?
How does it feel with that?
So this gentleman was speaking about a show called Heaven's Lost Property, and how in the original, the character that I play, Sahara, was speaking in Japanese, and then the gag was that she was speaking broken English. And in the English dub, she's obviously speaking English, and then the director changed it to speaking broken Spanish. So that's a pretty common thing that happens during recording, in that a script or a property comes over, a show comes over from Japan, and then the show is translated from Japanese to English, and then that literal translation is given to adaptive scriptwriters. But sometimes, I mean, the whole point of dubbing is that you convey the creator's point and themes and original intent, and do so in such a way that an English-speaking audience would understand it. So there are a lot of things that will get changed over the course of the translation and the adaptation. There are other examples of this. There was a show where the lead character in the show was considered promiscuous because she was tan, and in Japan that's a thing. So in America, being tan doesn't mean you're promiscuous. Being tan means you're healthy. Or I guess maybe not anymore. But yeah, so the writers had to find other ways to convey the idea that she was being socially ostracized because people thought that she was promiscuous, which is ridiculous. Your body, your choice. It's a pretty common thing, and it's not anything really out of the ordinary, I guess, anymore for me. But that was an excellent question. Thank you. Yes, in back there, love.
What is your favorite line or scene or episode or even all three?
Line, scene.
Or Mikasa?
My favorite line is in my favorite scene and in my second favorite episode. So it's during season 1. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen all of season 1.
My Hero Academia.
So in Attack on Titan, during the first season, Mikasa has a moment where she thinks Eren is dead, and she's losing her mind, and she wants everybody else to like shape up. Hey bro, will you shut that door on your way out? Thanks, man. Zombie apocalypse out there.
Yeah, and that's not sounding pretty.
So she's trying to rally all the troops to go and fight, and it's one of the only times where she becomes impassioned in such a way that she loses her cool, thank you, and she loses her composure, and in point of fact, almost kills herself accidentally. So she sounds like this, because that's really what you want to do. The line. I can do it. I'm strong. real strong. None of you come close. I am a warrior. That's it. Yep.
Is that where she was like telling everybody to stay put because they were being cowards?
She was saying that she's gonna go fight and they can come or not come and whatever she's gonna do.
Oh yeah, that's.
Other questions, ma'am?
What character do you relate to the most?
What character do I relate to the most? Who's seen Steins Gate? It's great. I really, really love it. Steins Gate. It's awesome. I relate to Makase Kirisu the most because I don't know why. I mean, I'm not a brilliant scientist with a doctorate at 16, and I didn't invent time travel, but I relate to her in ways like the fact that she's loyal to her friends, and she has a lot of issues that are like that she deals with. I just really like her as a character because I feel like she's really human and sweet. Yeah, that's it. Other questions? Okay.
This question is, what was your like most favorite moment or like significant moment, or what do you enjoy about the anime? Nadia is.
Nadia. El Cazador de la Bruja.
Yeah, so it was El Cazador de la Bruja. What
Yeah.
did you enjoy about that anime?
What did I enjoy about the anime El Cazador de la Bruja? El Cazador de la Bruja is the second in a trilogy by B-Train, thank you, by B-Train. It's called the Girls with Guns series. And what I enjoyed about Nadia in that series is that she and her companion are traveling through Mexico, and she's real sassy and really cute. She also has a song. She has a taco song. That was cute. I like that she had a taco song. She's an assassin. That's also cute. I really like her outfit. Yeah. Yeah, I love her. She was really cool.
It's very obscure anime.
Yeah.
Especially with the title being a whole Spanish term, you know.
Yeah.
Bruja is witch in Spanish, and
Yeah.
I can't remember what the whole Cazador was, like, because El Cazador.
Yeah, I can't remember. Does anyone know what Cazador means? What?
Hunter.
Hunter. The hunter of the witch. Ha ha ha! That makes sense. Other questions? Hand on face.
Out of all the characters from My Hero, who do you hate the most?
Out of all the characters from My Hero, who do I hate the most? I don't hate anybody from My Hero. I mean, the voice actors are a different story. No, I'm kidding. That was a joke. Everyone was like, oh. But no, I think all of the characters are really cool. Even the bad guys are cool, you know? I think it's a well done show. Yes, anybody? Yes?
Favorite character from Negima?
Favorite character from Negima, Matsu and Shichimi. I play Matsu, who's a frog, and a tiny edamame being frog. And Matsuki's magical.
I love those.
And his best friend is Shichimi, which is a tiny cotton ball kitten, played by Brina. And they're best friends, and we're best friends. So, I like them.
Back to the parents.
Yeah. So, it is now. I have 9 minutes. I have 9 minutes. So if you're waiting, you were just holding back that question. What's up, buddy?
Can I hear your best impression of All Might?
Can you hear my best impression of All Might?
Can you
Of
do
course.
all the impressions of everybody in my head?
I can try. Sabbath. I'm trying to think of an All Might line. What's his tagline?
Did you not
You're
feel
not
I-
citizens.
Oh.
Fear not, citizens, for I am here!
It's not. I mean, Sabbath has a very unique voice. Super unique.
Very bassy.
Yeah, it is very bassy. I have a funny story about Sabbath.
Ooh,
Not allowed
yes.
to tell it though.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
That's alright.
Other questions? Other questions? Yes, sir.
Just a quick one.
Okay.
Favorite character from School Rumble?
Favorite character from School Rumble? Gosh, that's hard. I mean, I want to say Akira, but it's a little self-indulgent. I like Akira a lot and you don't know what her past is, and like there's a whole sequence of her just like fighting crime and like beating people up and like the spy situation, also in a good outfit. And yeah, I like her. I really like her. Yeah. If there are no more questions,
What is your favorite anime to watch?
What is my favorite anime to watch? My all-time favorite anime to watch is Cowboy Bebop. My second favorite is Samurai Champloo. And I think I told somebody this story already, but so I had never really been into anime. My older brother was. He was really into anime. But it's probably because he was that I was like, forget it, Seth, I'm never watching that. So I was in college again, and there was this guy that I was interested in, and he was like, have you seen Cowboy Bebop? I was like, of course I have. I've seen all of them. I love Cowboy Bebop. What's Cowboy Bebop? So then I went to this place that no longer exists. Some of you may or may not know, but back in the day, in order to enjoy media, we would go to these brick and mortar stores called Blockbuster. So I went to Blockbuster, and I rented all of the Cowboy Bebops, and like totally fell in love with anime that way. And the guy didn't last. Still friends. It's not the paint guy. Different guy. Also a musician. Also like all the things. Great guy though.
I see a trend here.
Yeah, I have awful taste in men. That's the trend. I'm just kidding. I love my boyfriend. I had awful taste in men. There we go. So college was hard for everyone. So I watched Cowboy Bebop. I fell in love with it, and then maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, I was at a convention, and like I came in, and my agent was like, hey, you know, like you're just down there. Here's your handler. Go to. And I was like, okay, boop boop boop. And I like walked in, like I got up on this, like there was a raised platform, and I got up on the platform, and I'm like walking by, and like I go to sit down, and to my right is Steve Bloom.
Whoa.
And I was like,
weird fan moment.
And I looked up to make sure my name was there, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is right. And you know when you're trying to be cool and you really want to like make a good impression?
That was me yesterday with Bryce
man.
Pattenbrook.
It's so hard, and you're just like, you have this whole, in your mind, you're like composed, and you're like, hello, my name is Trina. You know, like you're just cool and you're normal. But instead of, hello, my name is Trina. I really appreciate all your work, Steve. It came out like this. Hi, Trina. Steve.
Me.
That was it. That's all that happened.
That was me when it comes to Bryce Pattenbrook.
It's awkward. Yeah. Oh, look at that. You have an autograph from Steve. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. And now, like, every time I see him at conventions still, like, if I run into him, and he's like, hey, Trina, I'm always like, Steve! You know my name! We're friends! You know you're not friends with somebody if you scream, we're friends! But he and his wife are lovely people, and it's still, like, really weird that, like, I love Samurai Champloo, and I love Cowboy Bebop, and now Steve Bloom knows my name. Because we're friends! Yeah. And we have time for one more. Yes, ma'am.
I know I asked about the Miyazaki films earlier about...
I haven't been in any of those.
Yeah, I know. Like,
Sorry.
Speaking of them, which one is your favorite?
Which is my favorite Miyazaki film?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's hard. That's really hard. I mean, I love Spirited Away. Everybody does. I'm going to say Howl's Moving Castle, though. That's my jam. That's such a good show. Such a good show. Thanks, man. So it is now I have 4 more minutes. Anybody? Anybody? Yes.
The brother that was picking on you as you were growing up, what does he think now in your...
What does my brother think now of me?
In your anime.
Yeah, it's weird. He's been to some conventions with me. The first time that he went to a convention with me, it was A-Kon in Dallas. And he'd always wanted to go to A-Kon his whole life, but he never did. He's a single mom. And she's like, that's adorable. We're all staying here. So he came with me to A-Kon, and I was like, hey, I have some interviews real quick, and then I have a panel, but I can meet you afterwards or whatever. He was like, no, I'll go with you to the interview. And nothing is ever as interesting as what comes through your door. Come on in. So he went with me to this interview, and the entire time he was like messing with me, Like they were like, the camera was here and the guy was like here, and my brother was like, like behind them the whole time. You know, I mean, he's still my brother.
Well, yeah.
He still teases me and messes with me because he's my brother. He is far more protective than he ever was when we were kids. Like if a bully would mess with me when we were in middle school, he'd be like, "Yeah, that's all you. You got that right, Trina?" And I'm like, "No!" And now, like, if somebody gets too close to me at a convention, he's like, "Who are you? Who are you?" And like, but it's weird because we look exactly the same, only different. So like, it's like watching like. It's like meeting somebody that you really like and you admire, and you're like, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you," and like you get too close, and then like their weird twin like pops up from behind us, like, "Who are you? Who are you?" Calm down, it's fine. You're not gonna hurt me. I hope. So yeah, he's great. He's a really. I'm very, very fortunate to have such an amazing family and such an amazing support system. My sisters, my brother, and my mother are all just awesome people, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for them, so love them.
2 minutes.
2 minutes! 2 minutes! That's 3. So anybody else? No? Oh, we're done? Yes? Sir?
Okay, I was just gonna ask again, like, what's your probably favorite scene from School Rumble, maybe your favorite episode?
My favorite scene from School Rumble is when Akira is doing all the ninja stuff. And the gentleman in black? Yes.
You mentioned Steve, would you ever like to work with him?
Yes, I would like to work with Steve. I think he's really smart. I think the things that he does are really innovative and really interesting. And I think he's just a really nice guy. I'm not saying that because he now has a house in Hawaii that I want to stay at, but it's just, you know, yeah, he's a great guy, super great guy, and really talented. And I'd love to work with him just to learn from him, honestly. Other questions? Anybody? Yes.
When you go to cons, do you ever fangirl out any celebs or other voice actors?
When I go to cons, do I ever fangirl out over any other celebs or voice actors? I fangirled out about Steve. But yeah, I guess that's it. You missed the LeVar Burton sunglasses story. I'd like to sunglasses a lot. I don't think I really fangirl about anybody at this point in my life, other than Obama. I would freak the fuck out if Obama walked in the room. I'm sorry I said that. But yeah, I would freak out. Or Michelle Obama or Barack Obama. President Barack Obama. I would freak out. I would be the person that the Secret Service tackles. I'd be like, "I just love you so much!" Like ugly crying, all the things. Like, I'm not, yeah. All right, I got a T for time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was very fun. Thank you very much. Whoa.
I will be signing for the rest of the day. If you would like an autograph or have any other questions, okay, bye.
Thank you. That was very fun. Enjoy Corpus Christi.